Hi everyone, this is SamForBoardAtWork.com, and today we're looking at the 640 XL. Now this is just this baby has just been announced by Microsoft, and we have a few specs on it, but we just want to give you a quick walk around on the device itself. Now let's look at the screen. The screen here is actually a HD display at about 5.7 inches, so this is a little bigger than its 640 cousin. For those of you who need a bigger phablet-like display, this would definitely fit into your, your pockets or into your mindset of a phablet. Now, at the top of the device, you have your 3.5mm jack, and at the sides here, you have basically your volume rocker as well as your power button. Now, nothing else until you get to the bottom here, where you have your micro USB for charging. And then let's flip over to the rear. The rear of this device is very different than what you find on the 640. Why? Because you have two main things that have changed. You have the placement of the flash has changed, and also the placement of the speaker has changed from the bottom all the way to the top. This looks very Icon-esque. Now, let's go ahead and tell you also about the camera on the rear of the device. The camera on the rear of the device is a 13 megapixel shooter as opposed to the 8 megapixel shooter on the 640. We'll flip this around, and the front facing camera over here is now a 5 megapixel camera as opposed to the 1 megapixel on the 640. So right there you're already experiencing some spec bumps. Everything else under the hood remains the same with one exception, but I'll tell you what that exception is later on. Now, under the hood we have a Snapdragon 400 running at 1.2 gigs, which is identical to what you find in the 640. We're also running 1 gig of RAM and 8 gig of ROM, which should give you about 8 gigs of storage for those of you who don't understand the technicalities of ROM. Now, Microsoft says, similar to the 640, you can also put an SD card all the way up to 128. So you should have enough expansion in there. So what is that one more thing that's actually different from the 640? This packs a 3,000 milliamp battery as opposed to the 2,500 in the 640. So the 640 XL is not only big in size, it is also big in power and camera capability. Now, with 300 milliamps in the battery power, you could probably use this for about a day and a half, if not more. When I say a day and a half, please keep in mind I'm talking about a day and a half of active use by people like me and other enthusiasts. My 640 on really minimal use my 630 on minimal use can last me up to 2, if not more days. So this should really be able to take you through, more than a day and a half, ideally. Once again, this is SamForBoardAtWork.com. This has been the 640 XL, and as always, enjoy your entertainment.